What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the FiveMarks Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, as always, the host with the most, and better than Emmett. I couldn't rhyme anything with Emmett, so fuck that. I am Mr. Martin115, joined, as always, with my lovely, dear dance partner.
Hello, everybody. I am Carmel. Welcome back for another week.
I need to make a new intro. I'm kind of like, we're going into 2025 now. We've had the same intro, so I might change that up a bit in the coming weeks.
Yeah, we'll worry about that in the next 6 weeks, maybe.
But we are back today, and we have another interview for all you lovely, lovely people inside there. We're all tired. We all can't wait for a little lie down, but we are joined from Fight Factory. We asked for the scoop, and we didn't get the scoop. But we got Benny here.
You.
Thank you so much for coming on, Benny.
Oh no, whatever, lads. I take it we're all kind of wrecked from work.
Yeah.
I wish I was, but I have to go to work
yet?
after this. Yeah, I have to go to work after this. So.
Oh shit! What time are you into?
I'm in at 12 o'clock. I work 12 to 8 every day.
Oh, every day.
Yeah.
Oh, they better pay you well, mate. They better pay you well.
I'm not at will to say, but I will say yes.
It's all to buy that house one day off of Edward something Tate, whatever his second name is.
Whatever his name is, yeah, that guy.
That fucking bastard. I need to stop. He gets a shout out every fucking episode. But, Benny, we're here to talk about yourself. We're here to talk about Fight Factory and all that stuff. Benny, we're going to kick things off the way we kick things off with absolutely everybody. Because I feel like it's a great question. We're all wrestling fans and we all started somewhere. What is the first wrestling memory that comes to your head?
First one would be like this would be golden era, like when I was a kid. Like how old is everybody here?
26.
28? Yeah, 28.
All right. I am 30.
You're confident about that.
Yeah. I don't like to admit it sometimes, but anyway.
I'm 39, so I probably like. Do you remember not having the internet?
Vaguely, yes. Yeah, vaguely.
Well, when I was growing up, there was no internet, and there was only like two channels, RTE1 and RTE2 on TV. So my family had to get like one of our uncles or something like that on a Friday night. We'd get a tape, and it would always have like what was it, the WWE? Like growing up watching like Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Tatanka, The Undertaker, like way back when. It's crazy because I've looked at some of his matches and he does arm drags and hip tosses back then. I was like, whoa, go on, Undertaker. But
what a spot.
Yeah. Yeah, no, first favorite memory of wrestling is like them Friday nights just sitting home with the family watching some wrestling.
On the old VHS. What
Yeah.
kind of... A lot of people kind of know the answer to this, but a lot of guys don't. What kind of caught your attention and caught your eye when you were watching it and just kind of hooked you on?
Oh.
Gotta really think here.
Well, no, it's like everybody was watching like football and stuff like that when we were younger and stuff like that. And I was never really too much interested in football. Then we got, like, as I was saying, that tape. And it was just madness. I was like, how are they getting away with all this? Because like at that time, I didn't know it was real. So I was like, wow, this is deadly. So like wrestlers like the Ultimate Warrior, Tatanka. I used to love the Mountie. The Mountie was when I was a kid. Was
Mountie always gets his man.
Yeah. So it was that era that got me kind of into it. But what made me really start like properly, I think, like the Attitude Era, because I'd left it for a while. And then come back to it just as like Stone Cold's big rise. So like the Attitude Era was like, oh, this is badass. But are you asking like as a wrestling fan or as an actual like going to do wrestling?
Well, as we'll say, young you, what really caught your eye to be like, wow, this is like you already said there about it was just something absolute madness. And you're like, what the fuck is this? Have to watch more of it. But like, was there anyone particular that kind of caught your eye and you've kind of was it that caught your eye and you were just like, I need to see more of this person, like Shawn Michaels and his ability and stuff like that?
Was there even a match or anything that you would have saw and you were like, yeah, this is it, like?
I remember like my first wrestling memory would probably be the one that stuck with me was See, before this storyline, I'd no clue. What was it? Shawn Michaels throwing your man Brutus through the barbershop window.
Yes.
Marty Jannetty, yeah.
Marty Jannetty, that's right, on the Brutus's
Yeah.
talk show.
Yeah. And that was my first experience of it. So that kind of, I don't know, the realism part of it, I don't even like, we're talking about when I was a kid. Like, it was hard not to like be like drawn into it.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's something about, we all, like all wrestling fans, we have a certain personality where we like to see people get dropped on their heads and back and so on. Something's weird about us.
We all did it in school at some point.
Exactly.
I want to point out as well, I honestly God thought that you were in your like early 30s. Where have you found in Ireland R-Truth's fucking little youth serum?
Nowhere. Same answer as R-Truth. Don't know. Just keep going. Don't think about it.
No, you have to. Like, you can't just keep it to yourself.
Well, I don't have like just I don't know. Being me.
It's like fucking. It's like the Irish R-Truth. Karen, will you ask a question now? I'm disgusted.
So I suppose you've obviously watched wrestling then, as you say, kind of through the Attitude Era. Did you continue watching then, kind of through the 2000s, and then I suppose into that kind of 2010s, into that kind of rough period?
I think like I left out again, like John Cena was just on his rise. Kind of once again, just life took me in a different direction, and there wasn't wrestling around it. So that would be where I would have finished, like from the start of the Attitude Era to like the Ruthless Aggression era.
Aggression,
Yeah.
So
when did you kind of decide then that like this is maybe something that I want to do?
Well, I came back into watching wrestling, and once again at a weird point when I think it was the night where the Shield broke up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I kept like coming into that, I was like, what's going on here? So like in fair, I had to go back and get all the YouTube clips and like all the story of what has been happening since I left. And I was like, Jesus, I left and it just went crazy. There's so much wrestling I missed out on. But what got me into it was the pandemic. I was like at home and I was like, right, after this, everybody else is like doing what they want to do, following their dreams and stuff like that. Like I can either get a job and just do the job, go to work, come home, blah, 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 be bored out of my mind. Or I can do what I wanted to be as a kid, be a wrestler. So I was like, fuck it, let's go. Let's see how far we can get this.
So it wasn't until after pandemic you kind of had your first kind of training session then, stepping into what would have been Five Factory you started at.
Yes.
So do you remember that first day at all?
Like bits. I remember we were just going through lockups, talking about what the training is going to consist of going forward and stuff like that, getting to know some of our peers and then some of the coaches. Like no real kind of conversations or anything like that. Like, well, you know what I mean? Like Jesus, that's 3 years ago. I can barely remember last week.
That's okay. There's moments I can't remember what happens throughout the day, so
yeah, we got that too.
One thing, and it's probably going to be the same answer, but I do like to ask the lads this. Do you have any memories at all of like, actually seeing a ring for the first time? Because a lot of lads are like, you know, in that moment, that's when the nerves kind of kick in for them. It's the first time you see a ring go, oh shit, this is about to happen.
Oh, well, no, like, I was always excited for that. It's not like, oh shit, this is going to happen. I was always excited to find out if I was able to. Like, that was my worry going in. Is like, right, am I going to be actually even able to do this? Am I going to take one bump and just fall apart?
Yeah.
And like I was saying to some people making a joke during the pandemic, I was like, hashtag waiting for the bump. Because they were constantly asking me, like, how are you going to do this and what are you going to do with it? And I was like, well, I don't know. I need to actually get in a ring and see if I can take a bit of a smash and if I can actually work a bit. Or, like, you see them, like, I was watching people we all watch people get kicked in the face and you're like, oh, how is that fake? You just kicked that man in the face. You know?
Watch me. Come here. I'll do it to
you.
Yeah. So, obviously, you've kind of been with Five Factory since day one then. How long until a certain scoop came along?
Oh, Scoop came along on the first Next Gen.
Okay.
My first, it was like a little introduction to wrestling. Like the first Next Gen show I was on, I was part of a gauntlet, and I just had a little promo, and then getting smashed by Justin Daniels. But when we were backstage, I had this idea of like, well, maybe I could be an interviewer who gets like he has an interview, it goes wrong, a fight ensues, or some kind of madness happens. That was the general idea for it. And I was calling myself at that time the interviewer, Violent Bob.
Bob.
But
Good name. I like it. Yeah.
one of the coaches, like it was Justy actually. I told him that, and he was like, "Nah, I don't like the interviewer. Give me a second." Looks away for a second, and then just goes, "Yeah, you're the Scoop." I was like, "Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. I'll go with that." And that's how the Scoop was born.
Do you want to throw in a question, Carmel, training days?
I was going to even ask, like, when you kind of found out then, or you kind of come up with that idea and you were going to do the interviews, I suppose, how did you kind of prepare then to, I suppose, do the interviews and then possibly step in the ring afterwards?
Well, if we're talking like the kind of story, like I always wanted to get to a point where the Scoop just loses his mind, kind of thing. Like you're constantly going out trying to get an interview, and you're constantly getting bet around.
Yeah.
You got to snap at some stage. Kind of like what was it? Your man, The Shine, and Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
What was it? All fighting, no interview makes Scoop a very angry man.
No TV, no Wi-Fi, make
Like,
Scoop
like,
something.
Something. Exactly.
but I tell you this much, if we've been doing interviews for this long and we were getting beat up after every one of them, we'd probably be stopped by now as well.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah. Well, we kind of like that's Chris Connolly, so
Yeah.
for some
Yeah.
reason we're still going, and he's still coming after me. So with all things are
Yeah.
going well. All things are going well. Was
Now
there
we get
any
through them
in your
eventually.
early training days? Was there any kind of testing of the Scoop character, or was this just kind of the day of you went? This seems like the right thing. I want to pitch this.
um, well, everybody like those people were coming up with ideas, and I was like, oh, I have to come up with something.
Yeah.
Like, what's nobody doing? And I was like, well, I think somebody was doing something similar to it on like SmackDown during the pandemic, and I was like, yeah, there could be like because there's all you got to try find a spot where you'd fit into a card.
Yeah.
At that time, I wouldn't fit into any of the like we say the main show cards as a serious wrestler. Like the Scoop versus like the likes of Martin Steers or LJ Cleary at that point would just be ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the Scoop coming out and doing an interview and taking a kick in the face, now you could see him doing that even at that stage.
Yeah.
So it was kind of working out something that you can get in with.
That's actually fairly fair. So obviously with the creation of the Scoop came the creation of another thing, which was the keeping the Fabe and all the interviews with that. Where did the keeping the Fabe idea come from? Was that just something that you wanted to do kind of online and keep it like a social media quick like interview type thing, or did that start on shows?
Well, no, the Fabe was always meant to be just my madness. Like it's a running story, and it'll always keep on changing. Because well, I hope and it's something for me to look back on and keeping the Fabe. Like obviously, I took it from what was it, keeping the fate.
Yeah.
So it's like a little thing for me to be like, just keep the Fabe. Like I wouldn't, and now I don't see. I know people are going to be like, he's a fucking tick, but I don't see it as like kayfabe anymore.
Yeah.
I use Fabe by itself to mean the madness and fun of wrestling.
I'm gonna
It's
insert
good use for it as well.
I'm gonna
It's very
insert the
good
guy
use
there now going, it's still real to me, damn it. Just as you say it. So obviously
before we kind of move quite up further on, but I just want to talk about Fight Factory. So obviously you started in Fight Factory. And
Yeah.
like we've had a lot of people on here about how much like Fight Factory means to them. But like how I suppose important, or I don't know what the right word is, maybe important, was Fight Factory? Did you find Fight Factory to kind of the start of your career and getting that training in and finding that character development?
I wouldn't be still doing it like 3 years after. Like I wouldn't have got like the opportunities I got. Like for instance, like I started next gen and I've had a few main show matches, but also from training at Five Factory, I've like got other bookings from other places because of the training. And like when you go to the Five Factory, you're getting trained by people like what was it, Martin Steers, Michael May, Debbie Keitel, LJ Cleary, like all these massive names, Katie Harvey, Phil Boyd, Justy, and everybody. And then you're getting to work with some of the top talent in Europe. Like without the Five Factory, now I wouldn't. I doubt I'd be able to still be able to do this. Their classes are like so. How can I say? It's like they keep on trying to find what is holding back some of the wrestlers and work on that. Like for instance, we'd be doing right your shine, or like now it's coming in. Well, it's always been in, but we're working on like triple threat scenarios instead of just a general two bad guys, one good guy. We beat him up for a while kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they're always trying to find what their students are missing and to make sure that they can have that. So when they go out to other companies, will be good and professional.
Sometimes professional. Sometimes people like to have fun.
Sometimes, yeah.
But
like to have fun.
Out of all the names you mentioned there from learning from, obviously like Justy, Phil Boyd, I'm sure LJ has taught at times as well. Is there anything that the guy, like any one particular person, has kind of taught you in wrestling that's really kind of stuck with you each time you go in, and something you make sure to pass on to someone else?
I won't go into like any kind of words or anything like that, but how other wrestlers act is a big thing for me. Like there'd be some wrestlers like could see you at a low point and they know you need to talk. They need to talk to you, like because it gets grueling.
Yeah.
The grind. And then there's some wrestlers like that's a hard one to answer. Like I couldn't really say one person or one saying, but there's been a good couple of times where I've either been told that I'm doing better than I think I am, or to keep going and so on like that. Like what was it? Martin Steers. I'll give it up for Martin Steers. He is always like one of the best coaches, and they like I say I was doing it about maybe a year or something like that. He made sure that I was getting the right coaching to help me get better. So yeah.
So, shout out to Martin Steers as well at the moment. I know he's recovering from an injury, so I can't wait to see him back in the ring. Hopefully quick enough. Speaking of Five Factory, then obviously you spoke about the Next Gen show where you kind of made your debut. What was that moment like, I suppose, when you found out that one, you were going to be on the show, and then to kind of step through that curtain through to a live crowd?
So weird. When I was backstage before I jumped through the curtain, I was all like, "Yay, I'm gonna go do this." As soon as I jumped out, I was like, "Oh,
oh shit!
Oh, I'm doing this. Okay, let's go in and see what happens here." I'll throw my hands in the air, go, "Yeah, woo! I'm Scoop. Hello, everybody." It was, in fairness, it was a really nice way to start. Like, I got in. Justin Daniels basically walked me through exactly what was going to happen. Told me, come out, tell me that I've never won a gauntlet. Throw your jacket in my face, roll me up, and then feed up and take what was a Michinoku driver or something like that. I'd have to watch the video again, but it was really good. And the only thing I think I could have been louder, I was like whispering, so I'm not sure if that was like nerves that I didn't notice, but I was like, "Justin, how does it feel to be never gauntlets? Man." I don't know. It was still a lot of fun.
I'll up it so you can say it wasn't nerves, because even like we did the RCW pre-show there, the show before, and like even then you just don't know like what fucking level do I need to talk into that. So even I start like, "Well, you know, what's up RCW?" I was like, yeah, that's not very loud. Better raise my voice because, I don't know how this fucking microphone needs to. My volume needs to be for this microphone. So we'll put
Yeah.
it down to. You just didn't know. Wasn't nerves. Never nerves for the scoop, anyways.
Oh, like, definitely nerves. Not that time, but like progressing from having like a little segment dish to actually going out and doing a full match for like say for a main show.
Yeah.
And yeah, the nerves there. Like my first main show, I was like, oh, I'm going to die.
Just turn around and walk back through the curtain. Cheers, guys. Done my job.
Yeah, see you later.
Talk about that then. When you get your first main show, then what? What's the kind of main difference that you find between kind of a next gen show and getting onto a main show? Do you finally find that like I've kind of made that next step to where I want to be, or is it just that importance of being on a main show?
Well, it's the crowd. Like the crowd as well is different. Like a next gen show, you got family and friends out there. Everybody wants to make sure everybody has a good time, and everybody, what was it? Doesn't matter. We're all learning kind of thing. Main show, the crowd can be wilder or quieter, depending. Then you're also proven to the people who put you in that position that you deserve to be put into that position. So that's what gave me more nerves in the main show kind of thing than anything else. It was, okay, I've been given this opportunity. I need to make sure that I do it right.
Absolutely, yeah.
One thing I want to talk. Oh, sorry, you're going, Carmel.
No, what?
One thing I want to ask about is the actual next gen shows, because for Five Factory, that is their kind of training shows. People come down, do a quick, not quick now, but do a seminar. I think you can correct me if I'm wrong. They have the beginners, the advanced, and all that classes as well. For you who started with the next gen show, and obviously they're still going today, like how important is that in terms of not only for your character to learn each and every time these next gen come up, but it's for people as well from who are like up in Belfast doing Titanic and stuff, try and get on a Five Factory show to be seen by people.
Well, for next gen, I think it's like is like one of the best things the Five Factory actually does, because it's very hard for a wrestler coming in straight away to have any kind of a booking, because there's like promoters aren't going to just take you on, oh yeah, you're a good lad kind of thing. So to be able to get them reps, like Titanic does it as well, has done it as well, where they'd have a second show that would be for talent to get reps in and get a better at their craft. So for next gen, starting out, you need that kind of, it's like a safety net kind of environment, that everybody who's there is this could be their first show, this could be their first time in a ring, this could be whatever. So yeah, it's very, I think more schools should have stuff like this and make it like not nearly an impossibility to go to it, if that makes sense. Like nah, I love next gen. What was it? I think it's the 9th next gen now.
Yeah,
I think so.
Like I think true next gen is not just only how I got onto the Five Factory main show, but how I got to go out to like to Titanic and work with them a lot. And oh yeah, I did 2 CAW shows as well. That was good crack.
That's actually what I wanted to talk about next, because like if you ever have a home away from Five Factory, it's Titanic. It's kind of like your second home for the scoop, I think, at the moment. What's it like working on Titanic, and I suppose what's it kind of like with the Titanic crowd?
The Titanic crowd are all legends. I go up and have like the best laugh with them. Like some of them are like the most creative, entertaining people I've ever met. Like I'm a big fan of, what was it, the Stars Aligned at the moment, because they're just so entertaining. Like everything they do, and for the promos, they put everything into their promos. And what was it, CJ Mohan? I heard him on commentary before. Like, oh, the man is just hilarious. He's like, it's like having Jerry Lawler on the commentary box kind of thing. That's how good he is. And then Stu as well. I've had the Scoop has fought with Stu a couple of times. He's hilarious, and he takes his gimmick like he knows himself. Like that's one of the hardest things to do is get a character and actually know it, if you get what I mean, instead of just trying to play something.
Yeah.
He had out on a merch table a picture of himself, and he was like, for sale for €60. I was like, you are a madman. He was like, yeah, I'm just being healed. I was like, that's genius. It was a good picture as well.
You bought one, did you?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
Scoop don't like Stoop. Stupid Stoop. Stupid Stoop.
One thing I was going to
there,
ask
I'd
you
probably
earlier
don't.
on, because like a lot of people, like the way a lot of kind of old school wrestlers in interviews would say, the best characters are yourself turned up to 100. How different, obviously, other than going absolutely crazy, is Scoop and Benny?
Oh, a lot. Like what was even as a character, it's like I don't know. I feel always very weird when I'm attempting to play the Scoop because I don't believe that that's like who I am, kind of thing. I think I'm closer to Violent Bob than the Scoop. Like, I'd love to get what was a match against John Moxley because I just want to go through the buzzsaw. It's another one of them things that I wonder if I could do it.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to take the spots though?
That's like I don't want. In fairness, I'd prefer not get into like the hardcore side. Like I will do hardcore matches if booking is there, but I'd prefer not to. But going up against John Moxley is a different kettle of fish, I think.
Yeah, especially like we've talked about this with Wrestling Time Wrestling Show. I'm gonna give praise. I haven't given praise to AEW in a long time. The stuff that John is doing now at the moment, I fucking love it. I love that
Yeah.
whole fucking character thing of like, lads, fun and games here in AEW are done. You're gonna put in the fucking work. I'm gonna fucking make you put in the work.
Mm.
I love
Ah.
that fucking thing now.
Like I do my best. What would keep up with I can only keep up with. I said to myself, I can only get 3 wrestling shows in a week. So like it's Raw, SmackDown, and then AEW Dynamite. Everything else I see over YouTube
Yeah,
and Instagram and stuff like that.
it's
But
far too much to be keeping up with.
yeah, oh, stop, man. And then I have to keep up with all the yous and everybody else on Instagram and everything that's going on. Oh, my brain was being melted.
A lot of stuff going on in the wrestling world, especially like even like what we do, like interviews and stuff like that. I used to love I still love Chris Van Vliet, but fuck, trying to keep up with him nowadays is fucking next to impossible for me.
Like he has an interview every second day.
And it's always a big one, and you're like, oh, I'll have to listen to that one tomorrow, and then another one comes out where it's even like he'll have like Bobby Lashley one day, like I'll check that out. Oh, Undertaker's out. Fuck.
Mm.
How do I listen to both? So one thing I wanted to ask you, and this is kind of going back to the Keeping the Fave question. What has happened to the Keeping the Fave interviews, and will they ever make a return?
Well, the Scoop, what was it? A little while ago after one of the shows, he decided, he's like, well, I'm getting more fights than I'm getting interviews, and I got to live somehow. So, like, the Scoop might do an interview again, or the Scoop might completely change. I'm not too sure at the moment, but it's like one of those things. I'm going to see how it goes.
Yeah.
As always, I will take if the booker's like, I want you to be the Scoop and I want you to do some interviews. I'm like, yes, sir.
Will do.
He's like, no, will do. I want you to go out there and be a heel and give a load of shit to the crowd. Yes, sir. I'll do that, sir. Madam, I don't know. Either one. Whatever you identify as.
I want you to go out there and take a load of skewers to the head from John Moxley.
Yes, sir.
I had another return question on that, and I completely forgot it with all that yes, sir stuff. Carmo, take it over while I try and remember it.
Yeah, I'll go from there. I want to kind of go back to Fight Factory a little bit. So Fight Factory have started doing obviously shows in Longford and a couple of other places like that.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was this year's Longford show. I believe you got your team with Michael May.
That was last year's Longford.
Sorry.
And
That's
yes,
mindset.
it did. That
What was
was
it like
brilliant.
teaming with Michael May, obviously, who has so much history in Irish wrestling?
It was deadly. He's like one of the top. Well, yeah. It's hard to say who any of them are the top coaches. They're all just class coaches, and they all bring something different to each one of the classes. But like Michael takes us Thursday night, and it's always a great class. But on the day of Longford, we were actually driving down the car, and I didn't know if I had a match or what was going on. Actually, yeah, no, I wasn't sure what was going on. I know I had a training match the night before against Gangland, and but I didn't know that the next day, Michael May's first match back in Irish wrestling was going to be him and it actually wasn't. It actually was not the Scoop. Another one of my characters, well, I won't even really call it a character, but Benny Gorman went out with him. And our tag team name was Hearts on Fire. Hearts on Fire? Or
Good
something
man.
like that.
I like
Yeah.
that.
I was like, ah. Yeah, it was really good.
Is there a chance we'll see that tag team again?
Once again, if Mr. or Mrs. or whoever Booker says, I'm a booking it, I'm like, yes, most definitely. Most definitely. But I'm gonna plug something there as well myself. Five Factory are actually doing a show January 18th in Bray. It's what was Jay Steins is taking care of it all. Man is a workhorse. Man does nothing but work. He works so hard he forgets to eat and drink water. We don't know how he lives. He must be a robot at this stage. But he's putting on a show, and it's like a cancer benefit show.
Yeah.
So like it's going to be a really good one. This one is. Jay's put all the work onto his shoulders, and he's making sure everything's getting done from getting sponsorships from Super Value. I think. Do not quote me on this because or whatever. I think he got the Cancer Society Daffodil people involved.
Yeah.
I
Don't
believe
quote
so,
me on
yeah.
that. I'm just gonna stop there, but I know Jay Steins has done lots of work for this. So if you're hearing me ramble on about this, how about you go to Bray and watch some wrestling with Jay Steins?
Like to work a little road trip for us.
That,
It'd be a great first
definitely.
Five Factory show. So
Yeah, true. Well, I'm going to the one in December. We'll try to get into it, right?
lucky
But shout out to Jay Steins as well. He's an absolute workhorse and like a future of Irish wrestling.
man, the man doesn't know how to stop.
the man still owes me money for a cab. So
Okay.
That
Back to teaming with people. You also teamed with Terry Thatcher along the way.
Oh yeah, that was another show.
Again, another legend of Irish wrestling. How was that?
That was great. Terry is just the nicest human being you could meet. You guys have talked to him and everything like that.
Yeah.
He's just a sound person. Always, anytime I've asked for advice or just asking him questions about wrestling, he's always happy to give the dig out, give a hand to. He's not. Terry's a legend. What was it? But tagging with him that day, that was kind of like the Michael May thing, where on the day I didn't know I was doing anything, and then surprise, surprise, it was like you're against Gangland, and Terry Thatcher's your tag team partner. I was like, yes, score for day, and it was just before Christmas as well, I think. So like it was all like, yeah, Christmas miracles.
So what you're saying is, whenever you find out you're wrestling Gangland, you're always in for a good surprise.
That's true. Yeah. That's actually pretty good. I gotta wrestle Gangland more often.
yeah.
hold on, let me hit up Jay Steins there. Here, give him a match. Let him team with James Storm. One rivalry, and this is the only one I wanted to kind of really bring up because I found this very entertaining. And obviously, you probably didn't, but Scoop did. Was driving Debbie Keitel to absolute madness.
Which was this?
The interview that you did, going to interview her, and she just couldn't take.
Oh.
She just couldn't take you anymore. She was absolutely driven to madness with you asking for questions.
Yeah. Well, in fairness, that wasn't even the Scoop's fault. She was already in a mess.
He added to it.
Yeah. Well, he had to get his interviews and Scoops somewhere. Like,
how fun were those type of interviews with Debbie?
anytime you're doing anything character based around Debbie or even helping her record a promo, you can learn so much because Debbie knows exactly like the types of characters that will get a crowd going. Like if she wants you to cheer her, she'll get you to cheer. She wants you to boo her, she gets you to boo her. So like if you're in a room and you're recording or even listening to Debbie Keitel about characters, you better be listening because she will be only telling the truth or the best things you need to hear. Sorry, my brain went wrong there for a second.
I'm gonna ask you this one because like Carmo's named a few moments there, and I obviously my favorite one being the Debbie one. What are some like favorite wrestling moments of whether it could be like, Titanic, it could be down a Fight Factory. What's some like your favorite moments that you've had in wrestling?
No, one of my favorite moments is we did a show in Kildare, but it wasn't just a Kildare show. The night before, the Friday, I was on the main show and I was against Fabio, and that was great. And then the next day again in Kildare, I was against Fabio. The first night went good, but the second day in Kildare was just a great show. Like wrestling with Fabio is always brilliant. The man is like, ah, he's like he's a genius of how to get the crowd going and to get them to annoy a crowd. Fabio is really good at annoying crowds. But it was great to work with him. Once again, it's one of them things of these are the people who are like we'll say they're up here and they're doing everything right the way you should be doing it. So if you're not listening to these people when you have the chance, well then that's fool you kind of thing.
You're not gonna learn anything from doing the same thing over and over and over.
Mm-mm. We're not what was it? Taking in everything that you can when you can. It's like I can't remember what school it was. This is ages ago, and because I go around to different training schools because like I have the whole thing of like um wrestling's not just one thing; it can be everything kind of thing. Like you look at things like what's that circus wrestling place called?
Over the UK, is it or
There's yeah like
there's wrestling? Is it Carvel or something like that over in the UK? They're on a
I can't
hiatus at the
remember. I was only
moment.
looking at them the other day.
either way. My point is there's so many different types of wrestling
Yeah.
that it'd be you kind of be limiting yourself if you don't go to as many schools and like see what the other people are learning.
Hmm.
But I was at one school and the coach was in the ring, and from being the Fight Factory, we have in our heads, coach is in the ring, you're up listening and you're paying attention kind of thing. Now a wee bit of a laugh, but make sure you're paying attention. But I went into the school and like it was like a herd of like cats, just like coach was talking, and I was like, only person sitting up there. I was like, ah lads, how would you come on? Listen to the coach. So it's mad to see how some promotions work.
Yeah.
See the kind of the goods and the bads of each and every single one, and take them all
Mm,
in.
yeah, that was like can't even tell you what promotion that was. It was really actually in fairness, the training was really good though. The coaching.
But it was just the moments were just lads. Come on, cop on,
Yeah,
listen.
and I think as I said, I think that's just a Fight Factor thing that's been bet into my head. Kind of thing. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but sure it is what it is.
Yeah.
One thing I want to ask you about is, we've seen a lot of the Scoop working on the microphone, and obviously you've had moments inside the ring as well in matches. What do you find more nerve wracking? Do you find doing the promos and the interviews for the shows more nerve wracking, or doing the actual matches?
Hmm. Well, a lot of times when we're doing the promo, it's kind of like it's just a rough idea and it works out the way it does, kind of thing. Um, the match for me, like I've gone to my head that I have to remember the match, like the whole lot of the match. And I think like this is a while ago now. It started getting in my way where if something did go not as planned in the match, I would lose, like I'd trip as
Mm.
a kind of thing. So I had to get that out of my head as well of right, the match can be fluid. It doesn't always have to be exactly what's on the paper. You just need to deal with it. So I think I get more nervous about them kind of situations than anything else. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the match and that answer.
Perfect. Carmo, do you want to throw
Good
another
answer,
one
very good
before I
answer.
go into more questions?
Yeah, I only have
I guess that's a no.
something that should recently up having.
That's only him. Don't you worry about that one.
Ah,
He's
sorry,
back.
my 1 second. Hopefully this works. Yep, sound. Battery
There we
was going to
go.
die.
Go on,
We're
Carmo.
good.
Of course, he's gone again.
But for
So,
who's gone? Me
You're,
gone.
you're back
I gone?
again, yeah. He's gone again. You get him back,
One
and he's
second.
gone. I'll ask you a
One
question.
second.
I'll ask you a question while he's sorting his stuff out.
Yeah.
It seems like you've gone on a bit of a health change. You've gone and got yourself a little bigger in terms of putting on a bit more. Well, I would say a bit more muscle and stuff. What kind of led that on? What kind of made you go, I'm going to get a bit bigger now?
See, it was telling the lads like before I did it, I was like, I didn't really notice it. Like until I got like a bit of weight on me and so on, I didn't notice that I was like actually skinny-ish
Yeah.
kind of thing. But I think I was like looking around the locker room still, and I was like, I could still be bigger. Like I don't know, like I used to for years I was doing yoga. So and then I was doing like kind of calisthenics kind of weights. And then when I got into work, I noticed that like there was a gym, and I was like, I found out the gym was basically free. It's like €1 a week. I was like, okay, well let's like make the best out of this. So when I did, one of the guys, Butch,
Yeah.
Butch, he does like a PT program. So he does your diet plan. He gives you a gym. What was a gym routine? Then what was it? Weekly check-ins as part of his program. So that was a 12-week program. I said, right, I give this 12 weeks ago and see how it works out. Then yeah, I just continued on.
And the results are showing.
Oh, thank you. I'm still like, I don't notice it. It's like when you look at yourself the whole time, like you can't see it. It's like I think it's more so the people who don't see it in a couple of weeks or something like that would notice a bigger change in yourself.
Yeah. The one thing, and I kind of started doing this was, like DDP always says, take a photo of yourself before you start a change, because that will, you go back, you look at it, and it fires you up to keep going and just get down. And it does. It very much works. So, like that's one advice from like I'd love to try DDP yoga, but
It's good.
I've no time for it at the moment. I every time I remember COVID, I kind of did a free trial of it. And like that was fucking crazy. Especially what you don't realize is how much more fucking movement it gives you. When like I know DDP used to laugh at it until he started doing yoga, but yoga is no fucking joke.
Yeah.
Carmo.
Well, no. Is he
Oh,
back?
no, sorry. Yeah,
Am I back? Am I there?
You're here.
Can you hear me? Okay. I wanted to talk about a match you had in Titanic recently. It might have been recently, it might have been a couple of weeks ago. I'm not 100% sure. But you did wrestle for the IWA Championship.
Yes.
What was it like, I suppose, stepping into the ring? And I believe that would have been your first title match.
Oh no, I'd a couple before that. I think what was it? No, it would have been what was it? I'd a tag team. It would have been my third, but would have been my most fun. Like it would have been my favorite so far that of my memory. Yeah, getting in with Butch and Stu Parker, was great. It was so much fun of a day. We got what was it? We were talking backstage, and I was talking to Stu, and I was like, "All right, I've got this idea, and it's so childish, but the kids, because it's a family-friendly show, the kids out there will love it." It was like, that whole, he comes into the ring, he does his bit, and he announces himself as, "I'm Stunning Stu."
Yeah.
And Scoop just turns around and goes, "Oh, hello, stupid Stu." No, Stunning Stu, stupid Stu, Stunning Stu,
Back and
Yeah.
forth.
Stunning Stu, stupid Stu. You called yourself stupid. Yay, everybody laugh.
Love it.
You got a bit of comedy into it.
Yeah. And Stu was so good at selling that whole when he's called stupid Stu, just absolutely like he was so mad. He was so mad. He was so mad his glasses broke, I think.
That's mad, all right. In fairness, yeah, that's bad. Is it a title that you'd love to go for again? Would you like to challenge for it? Do you reckon you have another opportunity?
At the IWA,
Yeah,
I'm not sure if the IWA is. I think IWA might be retired.
maybe. I'm not sure if there
Maybe.
was there an announcement. I'm not sure.
I don't have the scoop on that, but I think it might be retired.
Okay.
I think when Billy won it at RCW,
RCW.
I think that was it being retired.
Okay. Okay.
What was
I don't
it?
know.
As asking me about championship, like at the moment, like championships is not my goal. I know, don't get me wrong, every wrestler would love for a promotion to put a championship on them, but at the moment, my goal is to actually get a continuous story because a lot of the time I'm just doing matches on what was it, maybe like non-canon shows and so on like that. They're not really leading to anything other than that match
Yeah.
kind of thing. So my goal at the moment is to find a space where I can actually get a continuous story and show like the character and the wrestling, because you get like a wrestler one time and it's just okay, maybe I like them, maybe I don't.
Yeah.
But if you're in front of the same crowd and bringing at least getting the opportunity to tell your story in we'll say that bracket. Yeah, that's what I've been looking for at the moment.
I'm gonna throw this question at you because everyone kind of has a different opinion. Like, I love stories in wrestling. I get to make some promos and stuff for Hard Knocks. I always tell the lads, it's easier when you have a story because to put something together is just simple. What side of wrestling is kind of the side you enjoy the most? Is it kind of the wrestling side of it, the stories, the kind of business side of it? What is it like? What's your favorite kind of side of wrestling that you enjoy?
Mm.
And we'll say as in like you yourself, whether it's between like watching wrestling or being a part of it.
Well, if I'm watching wrestling, it has to definitely be what was it? Like story would be the bigger side, but the wrestling has to match the story as well. If you get what I mean.
Yeah,
Like you can have a really good story, but
the match
if the fight,
falls.
yeah, it's just going to kill the story as well. So I love, like, we take the Bloodline one when it all finished there at WrestleMania last year. Like that was such a good story. Like
Yeah,
I'll be honest, I didn't want Cody Rhodes to win. I wanted Roman Reigns to win. Just put that out there. But as soon as I seen Cody Rhodes winning it, I was like, yeah, that is the choice that was the right choice to make, kind of thing.
yeah.
And we can all see how it all played out. But it was brilliant. But that was kind of the mirror of a story playing to the match.
So
So
you'd be kind of like both mixed in together. The story, but the match has to equal the story.
yeah,
Has to finish right.
yeah, like, well, see, AEW does this. I know WWE doesn't really do it, but it's different storytelling. It's like we'll say like Hangman and Swerve Strickland. Like their story was all matches and then being angry at each other, and the match every time had to get bigger, bigger, bigger until right everybody dies.
Yeah.
The last match kind of thing. I'm not saying that's the kind of story that I'd be looking for, but that's the kind of story like you can't just be having like a really good story and then the exact same match each
Every time.
time.
Yeah.
There has to be something there. That's actually CM Punk. I know this probably wasn't the reason why he did it, but the ending of him, the cage match, the Hell in a Cell match of him and McIntyre, him taking
Yeah.
time after, really sells the fact that it's not. You can't go to work the next day after a match like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I want to
Something
talk
you
about.
don't see as often in wrestling anymore. And even some at the point of something simple like an elimination chamber. Like when
Mm,
people used to walk up and kind of look at the cage and kind of
mm.
try and take it all in, whereas they just kind of walk in now without kind of paying attention to elimination chamber. It's those kind
Yeah,
of small things that are kind of missing from wrestling nowadays, I think.
yeah, that's a very good point, actually.
One thing I
What
want.
was it?
Oh, go on.
Oh, go ahead.
No,
No,
go.
no, no.
I was leading
I,
on to another question, so you go ahead.
no. I was just going to say that was a good point that he made. You don't see that very often of like taking stuff in like that, like, oh shit, this is an elimination chamber. So don't worry about that. I was just kind of playing tennis with what he said.
I want to talk about teaming with AJ Scraggs now, because that's currently what the scoop is up to in Five Factory. You and Scraggs obviously have been doing stuff for a while. He was the last guest on Keeping the Fave, and there's been times where you've tormented him. I know he took a bit of a break for a bit, and he's back now. What's it like getting the team with Scraggs, or the former Axel, or was it Axel AJ, or was it AJ Axel? No one still knows to this day.
Tag him with my brother. Oh, brother. See, me, Scraggs, we started training the same night, along with another guy called Liam Leonard, another one of our good buddies. Double L, we love him. But like, what was it? We started together, and we've always been good mates all the way through. So like, it was an IWA show. Katie was like, "Oh, how do you feel about tagging with Scraggs?" I was like, "Hey, yo, this is gonna be some laugh." And we went up against Reardon O'Connor and Chris Conley.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I like Conley. He's a good lad. Does he torment you?
Yeah, he used to torment me.
He used to torment him, and there's a whole joke. Just I'll tell my favorite thing. There was one incident. It was a Hard Knock show, and for some reason on our Instagram, whenever I tag him in the match stuff, it never goes to him, ever. One day, he comes over to me and he puts his hand on my shoulder and he goes, "What the fuck is this?" I said, "That's your fucking match. What's wrong with you?" And he goes, "Read the tags." I went, I said, "What's fucking wrong with you? You tagged Robbie Mack twice and you didn't tag me once." And I went, "Oh, sweet fucking Jesus Christ." It's like, "Yeah, you fucking dumb." And since then, he is just... He knows he's had it out. There's one funny thing. There was a Hard Knocks house show, and I texted him saying... We're texting. We're always texting shit to each other. But I said to him, I hope you trip going into the ring. And of course, he's going into the ring, and literally his foot catches, not on purpose, but complete accident, catches his foot in the rope and trips into the ring. And straight away, because he knows where I am, looks over, and I'm pissing myself laughing. So there comes a point in the match, he gets knocked out of the ring, and he comes over, and as fucking hard as he can, fucking taps me. And I'm down. He comes back then about 10 minutes later after the match, and he goes, I actually think I hit you a bit hard there. And I was like, "You fucking think I was down for 5 minutes?" So
Chris.
He's giving me shit a lot, but I'm giving him shit too, so I can't complain.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, the match we had with the guys was a lot of fun as well. We were told before we went out that we were wrestling in front of like a non-wrestling fan crowd. Kind of, this was just Ballyferma. I think it was at Ballyferma, and it was like we didn't bring the crowd. Ballyferma had some like festival on, and then a load of people were just getting tickets to it. So a lot of them didn't know wrestling. Like as in, if we're there, we're like, "Oh, that's a bad dude. Boo, you suck," and so on like that. But they're like figuring it out. So just before we went out, we were told this, and we're told, be as loud as possible. Get the crowd into it. I don't care if you have to scream the building down, just get it done. So me and Scragg was like, we were joking around, like just saying "oh brother" to each other, like something. What was it? "Oh brother." So we came out and I called our team "oh brother," and our gimmick was we just kept on saying "oh brother" to each other all the way through the match. Oh brother! Like anytime ending happens, like "oh brother." It was fun. It was hilarious.
Take a bump. "Oh brother."
Yeah, pretty much.
See, all you were missing was just coming out to like Hulk Hogan, just ripping the shirt off.
What was it? As literally that was just on the day. It was like, you're tagging together, right? What would we do? What would we be? It's like, well, we've been joking around at training and stuff like that, being "oh brother." So like, let's just be "oh brother," because like one of the lines that we wanted to use for Oh Brother is, do you remember a TV show called Keelan and Kel?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
very
yeah, yeah, yeah,
well.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's say one of us makes an insane idea, like they do in the Keelan and Kel show.
Yeah.
And then the other one at the end of it, it's like, oh, brother, here go.
There's the intro then. Carmo, do you
Mm.
want to throw another question before I start asking my final questions?
Yeah, so we kind of spoke about it very, very briefly before we started the episode, but you were in the UK recently.
Yes.
I believe it was AWW was the
Mm.
name of the promotion, and you were part of a Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that was absolute insanity. Um, I was the first entrant in the Royal Rumble. Like they had the show was based around the Royal Rumble. Like I've done Rumbles before at other promotions, and it's like, sure, let's have a Rumble at the start for the crack. Go in there, just hit somebody, get thrown out, don't throw out the final four people, and you're good. And that's it. But these guys, like, they've done this. I think this is maybe their second or third year that they've done the Rumble, or maybe longer. I'm not too sure. But it was proper. Like, it was a minute and a half between each competitor, and I think it was like either 18 or 19 guys in the Rumble. Like, I was like halfway through it, I think I just lost my mind, and I just went with everything that was happening. It was like it was a lot of fun working with a lot of guys over there. I got hit in the head with bacon trays. Um, kendo stick was rough because because it was Christmas time, because it was the last show before Christmas. This guy called Anarchy, he's the hardcore champion. Right midway through the Rumble, his music hits, and it's like he has like a Santa's sack of violence, stop signs, kendo sticks, and bacon trays, selection boxes. Like I hit in the face with a selection box. Um, what was it though? Yeah, the kendo stick. They'd wrap tinsel around it, and I think they wrapped it so tight around it that there was no kind of, the way the kendo stick has a little bit of a give.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This was just like, I don't know, the stick of a broom, basically.
It was
Now.
stiff.
Yeah, it was stiff, brother. um, but no, it was still fucking so much fun. Like there was different, like as I said, like the Rumble went on for maybe 45 minutes, or I'm not too sure. But like it started off a little bit of fun with me and Liam. Uh, I'm bad guy. Liam comes out pretending to be the good guy. We go to wrestling with him. Nah, we'll hug instead. Yeah, we're gonna start beating up people. So beating ups happened. Then their main champion comes out, runs us all amok, and so on like that. And then midway through, all of it's just wrestling now. People hitting each other. Nobody's being thrown out at this stage because they wanted so many people in the ring for when Anarchy came in.
Yeah.
Anarchy came in. I told them my character's getting the hell out for a while. Anarchy's walking in. See you later, lads. I'm going talking to the crowd. I roll out. A little while later, I come back in and like I hit in the head. Maybe 7 times with a bacon tray, kendo stick, and everything else. But even though all that madness seems mental, after the storm of anarchy passed, then this guy called Chatty B came out. Oh my god, he had like a big cow suit on. I mean, like one of them suits that you put on and then you put air into it to
The
make it
inflatable
blow out.
ones, like the
yeah,
dinosaur
yeah.
one.
Yeah, exactly. He came out as a cow and he just started stunnering everybody. It was madness. Like, I think there was a point in the Rumble where I was like, "Oh, this is mental," because I was walking and then somebody just hit somebody, a Canadian destroyer beside me. I was like, "Oh, it's that kind of Rumble. Okay, let's Rumble, guys." My favorite part about it though was giving the crowd shit. That was hilarious. There was like, one of the coaches, Katie Harvey, gave me advice one time about being a heel, or even just when you're wrestling, even when you're being a baby. Pick somebody and always go back to them. So like at the start of the Rumble, I picked this as like family of like there was a ma, dad, and then a little kid. Little kid was up the barriers, and I was like, sit down, get to your seat and all this. And she went to her seat, and I was like, I win. And then all the way through, I was giving like just annoying her at that time. And then after a while, her mother was like, go chase him. And then as soon as she got up to chase me, running away
Yeah.
from him. then this was like nearly the end of the rumble. Like I was after being beaten around, everybody's beating around. I'm outside catching a breath, like selling to the fans, and she was like, "Ah, you lost," and I was like, "No, I didn't. I didn't get thrown over the top rope." And I'll go on for ages talking about this, but like AWW was a lot of fun. I actually went to their training school the night before. That was class as well. Really good crowd, really good backstage people, and all of them like they've got so many people that it's a community that they have their camera people, they have like the great venue, they have the great crowd, they work hard at what they're doing, and it's a really nice promotion. I really enjoy working for them.
Definitely go back again.
Oh, stop the scoop! The scoop wants to go back. The scoop is snapping to go back over there. And what was it? It was a screwball. Screwball threw the scoop out from behind, and he tried to take it as a win. No, Scoop's not into that. Well, heel Scoop is not into that.
Final questions I
Interesting.
have for you.
Yeah.
Oh, Grant.
So,
Wreck.
we're all getting to that. It's 8 o'clock in the evening now. We're all getting to that point.
Yeah.
We're heading towards the end of 2024 now and into 2025. What kind of things are you hoping to happen for the Scoop in 2025? Is there any goals that you're going to have set or anything like that?
Well, I think I was talking a bit about it earlier. It's like I'd really like to get a proper continuous story. Like it's a very I think it's like a very hard thing to get. The continuous storyline to something's actually going on. So I'm looking for that continuous storyline, but I won't say much. But what was it? There's me and two other lads have this idea of like a gimmick.
Hmm.
And we're gonna, I say, like it'll be January before we show out our first promo. Well, once we get the green light for after we do the promo, but I'm looking forward to that. That could be a lot of fun, entertainment, and madness with friends.
So this is
Other than
not.
that, the same as last year. Try get more bookings. Try push further out of Ireland to travel around the world as best I can.
Any
Love it.
any final ones you want to throw in as well, Carmel?
Might as well throw in a shameless promotion as well. Obviously, Five Factory returns on December 7th. Paul
Paul
London
London.
is coming to
Mm,
town.
mm.
You obviously have a seminar, I believe, with Paul London a couple of days before the show, and then to talk about the show itself. What's that feeling like heading into? I believe it's going to be the last show of the year.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because we're getting Paul London for I think it's three seminars. I think it's like
Is it? Well,
the Wednesday, the Thursday, and then the Sunday. Friday is the RCW show,
yeah.
and then the Saturday is the Five
Five
Factory
Factory.
show. So that whole week is going to be madness. From I think it'll be all go, all hands on deck kind of a show. But the card so far that has been mentioned looks class. But we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. But yeah, no, really looking forward to that seminar. The lads were training with him in Philly last year before WrestleMania, and they were all coming back raving about how great his seminars are. So like, it's going to be great to actually attend one of the seminars. Cool.
Anything you want to throw in, Carmel? No.
No, that's it. That's all I had. That's what you made
Last
us.
question will be, well, it's not even a question. The last moment that we always give to the people is this is your time now to plug, talk about anything you want us to talk about or plug. This is like your minute, 30 seconds, whatever you make it.
I'll make it short on that, guys. Just the January 18th show in Bray. I'd like that one to be plugged. It's a very meaningful show for all the Five Factory people because Bray is where the Five Factory show originated.
Yeah.
And then for Jay Stein's himself going through cancer, and now he's giving back, attempting to give back as best he can to the Cancer Society to help or whatever, not like that. If anybody wants to donate, if you go to the Five Factory page, there is a donation window thing. Once again, not very technological, but if you go to Five Factory and look up the show, you'll see it. So yeah, that would be my plug.
Where can everybody find you?
At Keeping the Fave on Twitter and Instagram and YouTube.
And you can check out all the past interviews with the likes of AJ Scraggs, not the Separate Models one. I never plug any of that their type of stuff. And many, many more people like it. So you can find all of our stuff, FiveMarks Pod on X or TikTok, FiveMarks Podcast everywhere else. You can find the beautiful Carmo here every single Saturday, 6 p.m. GMT. 6 p.m. GMT. That's how tired I am. I can't remember what the fucking time our show goes out at. 6 p.m. GMT every Saturday here on YouTube and Spotify. Carmo, this is your moment to take over and things and just put me down.
Scoop, Benny, it's been a pleasure having you on. Lovely chatting to you. And I can't wait to see you at the future show.
Great. Can't wait to see you there as well.
Perfect stuff. But look, we have been the FiveMarks Pro Wrestling Podcast, and for another week, we are officially ding, ding, done.